Taylor, Jaren Jackson Jr., we talked about him a lot lately, but I just, want to understand more what's going on there. Is this you emphasizing, getting him the ball in these isolation situations more? Is this him more, demanding the ball in those situations? What's kind of happened over the last couple weeks with him where he's playing, as dominant as he's ever played?
Sure. I mean, JJ, phenomenal night tonight. I think I addressed this maybe a couple games ago. I think it's a product of him asserting himself more, being aggressive in the flow of the offense, whether it's screen and rolling and ducking in, it's, rim running and finding deep, seal opportunities. And then it's an opportunity to make a lot more play calls for him, over the last couple of weeks, having to play through different guys and just seeing the growth and work he's put in since the start of the season, the patience, the poise, teams are fronting him, teams are double teaming him, they're not coming, how's he getting all the way to the rim and not settling and finishing and also getting foul calls. It's huge. It's been a great opportunity for him, great opportunity for me to figure out different ways to utilize him, knowing that it's not just, interior game, it's, on the perimeter, but it's, pick and roll pop to drives. You see him just attacking the rim in so many different ways and still knocking down threes. And, we also can't lose sight of the fact that, he should be Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's doing it on both sides of the floor. So it's phenomenal what he's doing offensively to back up his Defensive Player of the Year, resume. Heck of a night and a heck of a, recent stretch for him.
Sorry, Tim, Drew, Terry, Avery.
Taylor, what did you think of Ja's performance in his first game back and the reception that he got from the home crowd?
Yeah, phenomenal reception. As he was walking to the scorers table, really, really excited for him. Really excited for our fans to welcome him back. I thought he was great tonight. Accepting of the opportunity to come off the bench, knowing how well the team was playing, and this is just part of the process to get him back. With the group. I thought he was great. I thought he played with a lot of great energy. Playing with pace. We talked about being that guy that can go score but also set up your teammates. 5 assists, obviously lower minutes than normal, but I thought his defensive urgency was pretty good. Obviously Green and Porter, those are guys that are in attack mode and can be high octane offensive players. I thought he did a really good job trying to set a tone with his on ball defense and pick and rolls. He knew what this team was doing the last couple of weeks, meeting the Grizzlies, and he wanted to come in and make sure he was playing winning basketball for the guys.
Did you get a sense of what it meant to him to be out there, after, these 2 weeks to finally be back on the floor and be with his teammates and, be a part of the team again?
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be able to better address that, of course. But just from an outsider's perspective, just kind of watching, I think this has just kind of been part of the journey the last couple of weeks for him. He keeps talking about it's a process. I mean, I think every day, every example of something on or off the floor is just another opportunity for him to just kind of embrace what this process and journey is going to be like for him. I think he was really excited to come back. I think someone asked the other day, he was feeling maybe a little nervous and not sure. He'd been away from the team for a while, but knowing that his team's got his back, he's got his team's back as well. And seeing the fans' reception, all that stuff, I think that just kind of ignited just the flair that he plays with. So one step at a time for him, one day at a time. But obviously he'll be able to address that more. But I think first great step to coming back.
Coach, I know a lot of people take it for granted, but you did win your division title again back-to-back. What do it mean to win consecutive back-to-back division titles?
Yeah, I mean, it's proud of the work this entire group's put in. That's our players, that's our staff, that's our support staff, that's everyone in the organization. Obviously, back-to-back is something special. There's a lot of goals you want to accomplish in a single season, but we got so much more work to do. I think our guys were the first one to say. We had made a nice little round of applause and said, congrats, but we got a lot more loftier goals, and we get there just one day at a time. So keep focusing on that. Great accomplishment, obviously back-to-back. History for the organization. Our fans should be proud of it. Our city. I'm proud of it for sure. I know we are. But, we're going to focus on just getting better tomorrow.
Taylor in the back. Obviously, Ja Morant didn't play his normal minutes tonight, but you went with that decision to kind of close with him with the game and the balance. I know you're kind of keeping an eye on him, but, what kind of went into that decision for you to close with him down the stretch?
Yeah, I said before the game I wanted to, give myself a little flexibility. Obviously, Tyus has been phenomenal for us, all season, but especially in this recent stretch, starting, closing games, big-time shots, big-time plays, setting up his teammates. You see Dez's growth, JJ's growth. That's been a great opportunity for me to learn and continue to grow on how these guys are developing, how our team's got to continue playing better at the end of games. And, with the minutes that I talked to Ja about and talked to the medical team about, we wanted us to give us the chance with this window. If we felt like, he was going to give us that punch at the end of the game, that, we were going to go that route. So, the way Tyus has been playing, it's tough decisions. But obviously we know how much Ja means to us as well. And, we'll see what next game brings. But, proud of what Tyus did and what Ja did tonight.
Hey, Taylor, as late as yesterday with us, Ja said that he wasn't sure if he was going to play today. He said he didn't feel comfortable, said his conditioning was off. Did you notice a change in him from yesterday to today, and did there have to be that one kind of final conversation to feel him out and get on the right page?
Yeah, I think it's an ongoing process for sure when you're away and everything that he's been going through and all that stuff. I think game day kind of, stirred up the energy and the excitement and all that stuff. And there's been a lot of conversations with him and the medical team, knowing that we're trying to do everything possible to be responsible to his overall health and get him back conditioning-wise, do what's responsible for the team, all on above. There's tons of conversations, but I think he felt really good waking up this morning. We went through shoot around. He was confident, knowing that he was going to come off the bench and we were going to go extreme minutes around that. We were going to be careful with his rotation patterns too, and once the game started, he was going to go out there and just play with great energy. So definitely felt that in his eye this morning.
One of Jaren's highest minutes games this season, especially in regulation. Obviously, a close game. He had it going, but you talked before the game about wanting to get up to mid-30s with some guys, sort of his playoff preparation. Was this an indication of that with Jaren? And for Jaren, has that been a gradual journey over the course of the season because of the foot injury?
Yeah, not so much. The foot injury. I've typically just tried to be really smart. Develop the depth of our team. So sometimes our minutes are high 20s, low 30s. That's kind of how I peg it. Gives a lot of guys opportunities to develop over the course of the year. But, we talked coming out of All-Star break with the medical team about how we're going to take these next 6 weeks, build up, get back after a week layoff of the break, take it in like 2-week phases. I think we're in that middle stretch right now. Who knows what the ultimate numbers will be, come the last 2 weeks of the regular season. But definitely an indication. We played 10 tonight. Some nights we'll play 9. JJ will play a couple different stints. He'll play 2 long stints. We're still kind of evolving there. But this is definitely, kind of the minutes that we want to get him accustomed to and playing through and playing with, that high-level offensive execution, defensive activity, and all that stuff. With the minutes increasing, Dez being another guy that we're pushing in that department there. So that's stuff we're still trying to figure out.
Taylor, I'm trying to get a sense of it. Now that Ja has actually played in a game, played well, looked like himself by and large, does it allow you guys as a team to, I don't know if turn the page is the right phrase, but can you focus more on basketball? Does it feel like you've gotten past the worst, for lack of a better phrase? What's the feeling like now that he actually did this?
Yeah, I think it's a huge step, obviously getting reintegrated to the team, the first practice, how he addressed, everyone, his teammates and the staff, on Monday, getting his first game under the belt. I said a moment ago, a lot of this is just going to continue to be, new stuff one day at a time, going through this, but hopefully we can get back to just focus on what we've got to do every single day. But I think Ja be the first one to admit and said, hey, I need the support, but I also need to be held accountable moving forward and all that stuff. And that's going to still be on the back of our minds, on top of trying to become the best basketball team that we can be over the next couple of weeks. So whether it's turning the page or not, I think it's just an ongoing process of just growth, personally, professionally. So that's what we're going to continue to focus on, just one day at a time.
Taylor, so over the past few weeks, you've really gotten to see Dez grow as a finisher, Jaren grow as a more featured option offensively, and now you've gotten to see that tonight with a late game situation with Ja. And this refresher of those late game lineups, especially with Ja. What do you think of the optionality that specifically those two guys provide in those late game moments?
Tons. The challenge and responsibility to me is to make sure I'm getting those guys opportunities throughout the game. It's them asserting themselves. It's in the flow. It's their teammates setting them up, but making appropriate play calls so I know how teams are going to be guarding JJ on the perimeter, guarding him in the post, Dez in pick and rolls, Dez in off-ball screens, just kind of using it as an evaluation over 3 quarters so that when we get to the 4th quarter, we're probably going to see plenty of how they're guarding Ja, how they're guarding Tyus, main, ball handlers in pick and roll. roles that, we have, as you said, a lot of optionality. We kind of have a feel if there's an initial game plan, we got to counter something. Someone's got the hot hand. We've got to, diversify our offense in the fourth quarter. That's something that I've challenged myself and our staff to figure out over the last couple of weeks, knowing that, when Ja returns, obviously he's going to get a lot of opportunity throughout the game, especially in the fourth quarter. But now what you can see what JJ's doing and Dez is doing, hopefully we can keep defenses off balance, kind of have an idea what their game plan is over the course of 48 minutes.
Thanks, Taylor.
Great. Thanks, everyone.